Okay, I am excited today because I had the idea that I will make mini desserts for this episode, and instead of just doing one recipe, I'm going to actually do 2 recipes in one video. So let's wish me luck with that. One of my favorite things that I use in my baking supplies, mini cupcake tins. I really like the big ones because you can bang out a lot in one big tray. Did you ever go to a party and then someone cuts the pie, somebody serves a pie and then the pie turns into a mess because you got the person that's got to make that sliver and like make a mess out of the pie? So this is the solve for that situation for twofold. One, you don't have to worry about slicing and plating pies. And number 2, you have finger foods, especially now with germs and whatnot. Person just takes one. Everybody's not mangling into the same pie and sharing a knife. All the things we have to think about now that we never had to think about before. So what I'm gonna do today is bonus. We're gonna do walnut pies and apple crumb pies. So we'll start with the walnut pies, and here is how it's done. The ingredients for the crust are cream cheese, butter, and flour. Super simple. Okay, so we've got our butter, softy soft. Gonna add our cream cheese in there. 2 cups of flour, my cups, which mean roughly, and cream this together. Get it a little soft. So let's take our 2 scoops. 1, uno, dos. We got to get our hands in it. Let me go wash them again. I'm going to add a bit more flour. We've got to make it so that we can manage it without it sticking to our fingers, and also secure enough that it doesn't really fall apart when it's baked. Now let me show you how it looks because it feels pretty good. Let me give you a close-up. All right, so you see what's happening here? It doesn't stretch, it breaks right away. So but it's holding together nice. You can kind of, you can do that. Okay, over the years, I've had a different bunch of ways that I actually press them into the tins. We can do old school. We just make a little ball, we roll, and we press with our fingers. And I've used these to help and then Pampered Chef, a million years ago, I got this from some Pampered Chef party, and I just found it recently. So I haven't even had an opportunity to use it until today. So take a little ball, we do a little roly roll, and let's look at the size. A 1-inch ball, okay? 1-inch dough ball. You gently, with your finger, just go around and press it so it makes a nice little pocket. So that is what you do. Now the thing about using a wine topper or something metal is you kind of need to dip it in some flour first, okay, like that. Otherwise it's gonna stick to the dough and it's just gonna lift the thing out, so it's pointless. Kind of roll it around in there. Done. I'm gonna flour it a little and then I'm gonna push it in. Let's see. Oh man, now I remember why I bought this thing. I just powered out, I have to do the math. 12, 24, 48 for 950, 53 of these little balls in like 3 minutes. Let me tell you that without this, it takes a whole lot longer. Look how fast it goes. Watch. Dip it in the flour, punch it in the thing. Dip it in the flour, punch it in the thing. I mean, really. What? It was hiding in a shoebox, in a closet. Ay. But we are reunited now. Okay, so for the filling, when you see how easy this is, you're gonna make this tonight, I'm positive, because it's so fast. We'll take our little scoop again, the one that I always scoop with, that one. All right, so I think it's a 1/4 cup, but so we'll take 3 scoops of the brown sugar, 3 scoops of the chopped walnuts, a 1/2 stick of butter, and we're gonna soften it. And this, I like to almost melt it. So waiting for my butter to melt. I'm gonna pour melted butter in, add 2 eggs. 2. And we stir it. And we scoop it into the pie shells. So I like to use either a ladle or a teaspoon. So you're not filling it to the tippity top. You need some room for it to rise up. I have everything done here, but there was one small thing I need to share that is a very big thing. And that is, I doubled the crust recipe to make lots of extra for the big raffle, but I forgot when I was doing the filling to double the filling. So I ran out and I'm like, what is going on? And then I went, aha, you knucklehead, you forgot to double the other part of the recipe. Okay, so everything that I did before needs to be doubled. It should have been 6 scoops of brown sugar, 6 scoops of the walnuts, 4 eggs. So I'm going to set them aside, and they will hold until the end when I bake everything. Okay, so for the mini apple crumb pies, a cup and a half of flour. You're going to add a stick of butter, softened a little, and then some ice cold water, and that is pie crust. So here's my softened butter, and I've also brought some ice water. So we mix the butter in with a fork. So I'm going to pour just, I think this is a 1/4 of a cup. Whoops, now I've gotten an ice cube in it, and we're going to start with that. I'm going to toss it around. All right, let's feel how this feels. All right, so I've got a nice dough ball here. Now, I look at the size of this dough ball. Compared to what I just did with the mini walnut pies, this is about half the amount of dough that I just used for the mini walnut pies. So what I'm going to do is make another batch of this so that I can make plenty of mini pies. Okay, so now I'm going to combine our little dough balls into one. Next, we roll the 1-inch dough balls. Pop the ball in. Now we're doing pie crust instead of walnut pie crust. This is non-cream cheese pie crust. Okay. You can see that I've done all the little pie crust for the mini apples. What I like to do next is get the crumbs ready. So I'm going to do a quick crumb demo this time. So if you want the full crumb demo, remember, go back to the crumb cake where I give you more detail. I'll say it out loud just as a reminder. We've got 3 scoops of brown sugar. We've got 3 scoops of white sugar. I shake some cinnamon, pour some vanilla, and then we add the flour. And that's crumbs in a nutshell. Okay, again, for more details on how to make the crumbs, you need to check out the crumb cake video. So now we're going to prep the apples. And what I first do is I take a bowl and I put a bit of a mixture in it, because once I slice and dice the apples, I'll just continue to add them into my prepped bowl. And 1 scoop of brown sugar, 1 scoop of white sugar. We need some cornstarch. So you can do, look, I took a teaspoon and I took, 2 teaspoon scoops. Penzies, cinnamon, shake some cinnamon. We'll add some vanilla, Penzies vanilla. And then I like to throw in some cloves, some pumpkin pie spice. And that is where we are going to put our apples once they are sliced and diced. I've got 6 apples set aside. So first I peel, and I'm going to do it quickly. Why? I don't know. We have all day. Why am I hurrying? Mamma mia. Okay. All right. So that's roughly, you see, we have little diced pieces. What kind of apples, you might want to know? These are Honeycrisp because I love to eat them. So then if I don't bake with them, I enjoy eating them. But I do like to mix apples sometimes, so I might put in 3 McIntosh and then 3, let's say, Red Delicious if I have those on hand. In my opinion, there's not really a hard and fast rule about what apples are better for pie. I'm sure you can Google it and find more information than this mothership has. But, all right, so I'm going to cut the rest of the apples, and then we'll toss it in the mixture. So, a spoonful of apple goes into each one. So, I'm filling them to the top. Now we're going to compile the crumbs onto the mini pies. This is a little different than doing a crumb cake because the crumbs need to actually be placed on the pies. So we get to do Play-Doh again. And we put them on. Let me show you. I'll do a couple and then I'm going to bring it up there and show you what they look like. There you have it. So each crumb is gently pressed on there with love. Done with the crumbing. And let me just show you. Here are the hand-sculpted crumbs that have been pressed into the little mini pies. And I would say that's probably the most time-consuming part of the whole process because chopping the apples takes some time and then hand crumbing takes some time. But I have nothing but time right now. I took the walnut out and I put the apple in, and I just want to, in the meantime, show you what they look like when they're finished. So they have a golden brown finish and a little bit of a rise and a crispy top. Okay, here they are, perfectly browned and smelling delish. But when you go to take them out, again, it's a butter knife and just a gentle lift, and they'll lift right out when they're cool. So that's all. I will see you Sunday for our big night out.